I'm also noticing that my streaming is kind of slow on one of the platforms. I'm hoping that it speeds up, so we'll see once everything syncs. But welcome. Today is day 5 of going live, or I have to eat dog food. So I don't have to eat it today, but I'm doing 30 days of going live in order to share more about the coaching program that I'm putting together called Focus Habits. So I've got, Focus Habits 30-day live or dog food challenge, in case you're curious what that said, because I'll be blocking it this whole time. So, my friend Mike challenged me to go live and to be sharing what I've been putting together. And all of this comes out of me working with 3 guys back in 2014. I offered an internship to help my friends kind of just chart their course and figure out the direction of their life. And I just did that for free because I had read the book Go Giver, and I shared all this in my previous streams. But I was inspired by that book and by just this idea of the more value you offer, then the more you're actually worth. And so you can really give away a lot and then charge for a certain core functionality of what you do. And just the more people you help, the more you're worth. So I want to help lots of people for many reasons. I don't need to go into all of my details of that. But so I'm doing this challenge in order to just motivate myself and to get out there and share more about it. So I know yesterday I shared the first 3 focus habits. Those are develop a craftsman mindset, chart your course, and I keep forgetting this one, not organize the chaos. That's next. Oh yeah, master time. So those were the 3 that I covered yesterday. Develop a craftsman mindset, chart your course, and master time. Today, I'm going to go over the other 4 habits of the 7 focus habits for an intentional life. So habit 4 is, just to be candid, I got maybe 3 or 4 hours of sleep last night because I have a newborn daughter. She's 3 months old, 13 weeks now. So I'm running on fumes, but that's okay. I'm excited to be here and to share with you. So bear with me. I'm going to look at my notebook, even though I've been putting these together. So order the chaos is habit 4. Habit 5 is find your voice. 6 is get growth guidance, and 7 is simply strategize. So just for the brief intro, the habit 4 of order the chaos. This came out of my challenges with being a digital nomad, being a digital worker and knowledge worker, and then even before that, in high school and in college, my brain is constantly interrupted, and yours might be too, with all these thoughts and ideas and even voices of, do this other thing, or, we have our inboxes. And for a while, I've used my inbox as a to-do list, in the past. And so a new email would come in, and I just start to feel overwhelmed as more emails pile up because I don't have a better system than that. And then somebody will, oh yeah, hey, can you pick up this on your way home? Can you do this? And they all just start coming together. And as David Allen in his book, Getting Things Done, talks about, our brains are good at having ideas, not at holding them. So I know earlier this week, my car was dirty. And every time I would get into my car, my brain would be like, hey, your car's dirty. You need to go get it washed. Well, thanks, brain, but I can't go get it washed right now. So there's no help in you reminding me when I'm not able to do it. And then as I'm driving down the road, I have all these other ideas. I get so many ideas as I drive, but I have nowhere to put those ideas. And it's partially my brain is saying, I don't trust that you've put this into a system. And so I'm going to keep reminding you because I don't believe that you're going to get this done. And my brain is trying to help me even though it has executive function disorder. So Organize the Chaos has come out of that. And really, in school, I kept trying all these different systems. And then finally I found a system that worked, but I don't think it's the system. I think it is the methodology behind it. And so in Order the Chaos, that habit, I will share the methodology that has worked really well for me and for some of my clients, and then show you my system for how I organize the chaos of all the digital information, of my tasks, of projects that I have going on. So I have a high level overview of everything. And it's all visual. I don't have to keep it all in my head. Instead, I'm able to, dump it into this system, and then I can trust that I can go back to it and check it and be organized, organize the chaos. So the next habit 5 of find your voice. It's similar to what I was just talking about with all those voices in our head, the things that are interrupting us. Only my relationship with myself hasn't always been great. Sometimes I've treated myself like I wouldn't even treat a best friend. Like I would talk down to myself and I would belittle myself. And, as I would get a text from a friend like, hey, are you coming? And realize that I needed to leave a half an hour before in order to show up for hanging out with my buddy. And, up until recently, I would be like, oh man, I need to apologize severely and beat myself up over it, and maybe I should just cancel plans, and maybe we should just never be friends again because I've totally broken his trust, all this stuff. Well, now instead of doing that, I'm able to say, you know what, that's okay, and have this conversation in my head, acknowledging what's going on, and even that mean, nasty voice, it's actually still trying to help me. It's a part of me. And just be able to talk to that part of my voice that is, it seems distracting, it seems negative, but really we can change the relationship that we have with, all those conversations happening. So find your voice, and I still would like to change the name of that habit. It doesn't fully encapsulate everything that it's about, but there's books, there's resources, and there's just, again, maybe a methodology to how to have a better conversation with ourselves and to accept ourselves instead of beating ourselves up over those things. And so this habit is near and dear to me and has helped me to just have a good relationship with myself. So that's habit 5, find your voice. Habit 6, I was going to look and then I didn't, is get growth guidance. For me, this is like having a mirror. Imagine if I had a kick me sign on the back, or if I had dirt on my butt. Unless I have a mirror or even have somebody else around that can tell me hey Chris, you've got something on there. Here, let me clean that up for you. Unless I have that other person to give me that perspective, I won't know it. I literally can't look at my butt unless I have a mirror or somebody else that's there. And so get growth guidance is about getting a second perspective on things. Someone to help remind us of how we're doing, remind us of the good things that we've accomplished. Because I know for me, my time blindness and rejection sensitivity dysphoria that all comes with ADHD, I so often forget where I was 6 months ago or a year ago and how far I've come. So having that other person in my life that can, tell me how things are going. And for me, it's a business coach, and it's some of the friends that I have, even Mike Schmidt, that encouraged me to do this talk with you and to do this live streaming challenge. I didn't know that I needed to do this, and he saw in my life that I needed a push and a reminder to really go after it instead of just being stuck and being insular in what I was putting together. So that's what Get Growth Guidance is all about. And lastly, Simply Strategize is the 7th habit. So Simply Strategize is all about getting past analysis paralysis on one hand, and on the other hand, it's impulsivity. So if you have ADHD or if you struggle with focus, you may relate to this, where for me, I will plan something ad nauseum and then I've gotten the dopamine hit from planning it, and now I have a hard time executing. And so I just get stuck in this plan, and not execute. And then I get sick and tired of that, and I alternate over to the other side where I just become impulsive, and I launch, and I just go without really having a plan in place. And I didn't need to have that crazy detailed plan, but I needed to have something and not just be impulsive and just go. And so it's like I'm waffling back and forth between these two extremes. And so Simply Strategize is a strategy for how to be right in the middle and be in this happy medium between those two extremes. And again, this isn't something that I came up with, but it's something that I discovered, just like all of the habits. And I've really crafted these and tailored them to my neurodivergent brain and to my ADHD clients and others that have ADHD clients that have ADHD. So I'm excited to share all of these. So I'll just read off what all the habits are. So the first one is develop a craftsman mindset. The second habit is chart your course. The third is master time. The fourth habit is order the chaos. Fifth is find your voice. Sixth is get growth guidance. And the seventh habit is simply strategize. So these are the habits that I'm going to be going over in my Focus Habits course. It's not quite ready yet, but again, as other people are telling me, like maybe it is, and I just need to get it out there. So this challenge, perhaps by day 30, I'll be ready to release it. But whether I am or not, I've got a wait list that I'll share in the comments. So my two asks for today are, if you know someone that would benefit from being a part of this, from hearing more stories like this, from getting growth guidance, or from developing that craftsman mindset, please tag them below or share the link to this so they can follow along in this journey. My second ask is, if any of this resonates with you, if you have ADHD or you just struggled to find your focus and flow, then I encourage you to, one, of course, follow along, but sign up for the waitlist and hear about this program as soon as I'm ready to launch. I'd love to have you join the group coaching program. I'd love to meet you, to talk to you, and get to just encourage you in some of these things that I've learned, and also hear your story, hear where your struggles are, and see what do we need to adapt and change. Because these aren't perfect. These are definitely things that are going to evolve and grow. This is my first beta course of running a group coaching program. Been doing one-on-one coaching for the last 2 years, since starting in Infuse and graduating 9 months later. So if you see my other videos, you probably know more about Infuse. And lastly, I'm continuing to go. So we're on day 5. I've got I don't know where I put day 5. But day 5 out of 30 days. So I have my Notion template where I've organized the chaos of my brain of all these ideas for the next few live streams. So I have, I'm going to dive into each of these habits and tell you a story about how I discovered that habit, maybe some of the resources associated with it, and then some of my other stories. Like when I was 6 years old, I got diagnosed with ADD, and then 1987 they changed from ADD to ADHD. So now it's just, they all group all of them together as ADHD, and I can tell you more about the inattentive versus hyperactive versus the combined type, which is super cool. It was always confusing to tell people like, oh, you're ADHD, and it used to be like, no, I'm ADD, and now it's like, oh yeah, they're all just combined together because there's combined types. So I'll tell you more about that. And then, more of the stories of my journey to becoming a coach, and how I was a locksmith when I was 15 years old. And I think a lot of these, for other people with ADHD, when we connect, I often get chills, and the other people often get chills like, oh my gosh, like I thought I was the only one that experienced this. Or even the mind maps. I was talking with a friend over Zoom that lives in India. And even growing up in India, he discovered mind maps and how powerful it was to use that to organize his scattered brain. And so it was just so cool, like realizing that somebody else on the other side of the planet had uncovered the same strategy that I had, and had the same challenges. So what if we could gather together and to share our stories in one place instead of feeling like we're isolated and like we're separate and just I only know a few of my friends that have ADHD, and I have a lot that don't. But how cool it'd be to know more people that have ADHD and what are our commonalities. And we're all unique people, so we do have differences. I'd love to learn more about that. So yeah, I look forward to having you in my group coaching program, and I can't wait to see you tomorrow because I really don't want to have to eat this dog food. And so this is a great way of personal accountability. Maybe it's not a great way because if I skip, then I'm going to have to eat this. But I don't know. I've been thinking about like how stories that like the protagonists, there's always something like an inciting moment that causes people to do what they do. We never just get up off the couch and just say, I'm just going to change the world today. There's usually something that's driving that. And sometimes it's another person in our life that encourages us or asks us to do something. Or for me, it's also been my daughter. Having her born and having her enter my life has suddenly turned my life up a notch, where I'm going, I need to be able to provide for my family more. I want to raise her right. I want to be able to stay at home and care for her while I'm still working and find a balance between doing that. And this group coaching program is going to allow me to do that. So yeah, thanks for joining. My name's Chris Porter. I'll see you next time. And then stick around for the next 30 seconds while I close all the tabs. And all right, Facebook, you're going by first. Goodbye. Yes, I want to end. YouTube, you're next.